record on. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so I'm glad that we've got a few people on this Zoom call tonight. We might have a couple of more people hop on. But I'm going to go over a couple of announcements with you guys since it's being recorded. That way I can put a bunch of them on YouTube tonight. I had all intentions to put all of my Zoom calls on YouTube this last week. And then I feel like one thing after another happened. And I honestly made up excuses and, all this good stuff. So my plan is tonight after I got off this Zoom call, I'm going to upload them onto my computer and have them all upload on my computer overnight tonight. So tomorrow morning, you will see tons of YouTube videos popping up on my YouTube channel from not only the Wednesday night Zoom calls, but also for the newbie Zoom calls. So that's the first thing I want to share with you guys. I am planning on making it a priority tonight because I know that it's been on the back burner because, I've just been on the go and I just had other priorities that I was putting first with month end. So we're going to actually go over something tonight that I feel like a lot of us, especially everyone that's not on the Zoom call right now, could absolutely learn. Okay. And I'll share that with you guys for just a second. Okay. So bear with me. The first thing I want to share with you guys is conference is coming up and we have nailed down our hotel room. And so if you are still wanting to go to conference and you want to room with someone, I'm saying come hell or high water, make the decision to make it there because it's going to change your entire business. Even if you have to make payments through Klarna in order to make it happen, I would say do whatever it takes in order to make it happen because it's going to change your entire business, especially because we've got a lot of new things coming. Stacy has been talking to me all the time about it. We're in a conference group chat that is blowing up about it all the time. I know that there's big things coming. I know. And it really sucks being that person who does not make it a priority to get to conference, watching everybody else's business blow up while yours sits on the back burner because you weren't in the room and didn't feel the energy. We all know that energy is real and it's a real thing. And when you get around other people, it's like it fills your cup back up. So no matter what you have to do, whether it be figuring out how to make it happen as cheap as possible, or figuring out how you can make it happen and get there. I know there's several of us that are flying in from out of state. There's also quite a few of us who are brand new who are showing up and making it happen, even though, there's a lot that's going on right now in our world. So conference is a really, really big deal and just trying to make it happen as best as you possibly can. Figure it out, talk with your upline, say, I want to go, but I need help. I need to figure out how I can make this happen. Okay. Let us help you come up with a plan because ultimately it's like what, 3 or 4 months away, not even 3 months away. It's November, December, January. It's 3 months away, which means that if you don't have a plan already started, you might want to get it going. You know what I mean? So that you can make it there because it should be a priority because it is your business. Okay. Number 2, Zoom calls. We are going to have these Zoom calls every single Wednesday until further notice. Okay. We've been having these literally ever since I started this business 5 years ago. When I created the Team Diamond Hustler, I started doing these Zoom calls right off. And we have not stopped pretty much ever since. We've had so many other people on there. I know Haley has helped me quite a bit with these Zoom calls. Tina's helped me several times, and we've had other people along the way who have gotten on, shared their story. And sometimes we just do power hours, and it's great because you learn something new every single Zoom call that you attend. They are not always recorded, and they are not always put on to YouTube right off if they are recorded. So if you're wanting to catapult your business and you want to go up, no matter if you have to listen to it while you're in the shower or if you have to listen to it while you are driving, like Tina does every single Wednesday night, or if you have to listen to it while you're cooking dinner, like Haley does sometimes, or if you have to listen to it while you are laying in bed, getting your kids to sleep, it is so ridiculously important that you plug into these Zoom calls because they are not for my benefit. They are for yours. I show up every single Wednesday night for you, not for myself. And I want to continue to do that forever. And the only way that I can do that is if I see people showing up every single week. Okay. So it's every Wednesday night for these Zoom calls. Every Friday morning, I do a power hour Zoom call. I understand that some of you are at work during that time, so I'm totally understanding about it. I don't record those at all. I don't, sometimes I put the tasks in the chat. I'm not sure what I'm going to do going further because we've got the new tasks that are in the team chat and I don't want to get it super confusing. So I might end up just doing the tasks on the actual team Zoom call and just talking about it on the Zoom call and stuff like that. Thursday night, Stacy Lease actually is doing Zoom calls for our entire team. She invites people who are a diamond and above to get on to speak into us and speak life into us and kind of refresh our business. And every single time I get off of it, I always feel refreshed. And if you're wanting to be a leader and you're wanting to grow and you're wanting to become better and gain your, grow your income and all that good stuff, then you definitely want to make it on those. No matter what, even though I am a leader and I lead other people, I'm always going to be a lifelong learner, which means that I'm always going to show up for other Zoom calls that could potentially grow or expand my thinking so that I can grow my business even bigger and learn all the new things. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those are your Zoom calls that you are going to see happen every single week. The Friday ones are going to keep going until further notice, until I maybe switch the times or the days or whatever. But as of right now, this next week, that's exactly what it's going to look like. Okay. Another thing is that I really love actually is we just started this new task list in Team Diamond Hustler. Give me some fire emojis in the chat if you love that idea, because that actually came from the commitment chat, where Stacy had put it in there and she had 5 different tasks, but they were smaller tasks. Whereas there's a lot of tasks, if you want to go diamond or if you want to even go ruby, if you want to gain momentum in your business, there's multiple tasks that you would want to do every single day in order to get there. And so these tasks are not put in there so that you can just scroll through and pick and choose which ones you want to do. Those are put in there because that's your bare minimum every single day. So it's not real complicated stuff. There's things that you can do within 1 second. There's things you can do within 1 minute. There's things that you can do within 10 minutes. And we all have 1 second, 1 minute, and 10 minutes throughout the day. So pick and choose what ones you want to do at what times throughout the day. That's what I always recommend. And then just show up at those times, whatever's most convenient for you. I would never sit here and say, you have to show up at 7 o'clock in the morning because that's when I show up. That's just not true. And it's just not acceptable for everybody, right? Or it's not doable for everybody. So what I say is take those tasks, figure out what works best in your day-to-day schedule, whether maybe you have to do it a little bit earlier before your kids wake up, or maybe you have to do it at night when your kids go to bed, or maybe you have to do it on your lunch break if you work a full-time job, or maybe you have to do it as soon as you get out of work, but before you get out of your pull out of the parking lot of your job, right? You've got to figure those pockets that will actually work to meet all those goals. I am going to continue on doing these this entire week, okay? Because I want to see our team go up, and the only way we're going to get our team to go up is if we gain momentum the entire time, okay? So I'm going to continue to share those for you guys, and I think that it's really important to make sure that that happens every single time. Okay, so I want to go over something that's really important that a lot of us struggle with when we first start this business, okay? Something that I struggled with personally was time management and learning how to work this business every single day consistently without having to worry about whether it was done or not, and whether I really did a good job or not, or getting halfway through the day and being like, oh shoot, I missed half of it, right? And so when I first started this business, I'm going to share a little story with you guys. Okay. I was working 2 jobs, 80 hours a week. I was working in the medical field. Matt was working full time as a mechanic, and I felt like I just had no time at all. So when the girl came to me that was working this business and she offered this business to me, the first thing that I told her was I didn't have enough time to do this. And I remember when crap hit the fan in my life, and Matt and I were fighting every single day over money and all the other things that come with that. I remember her reaching out to me and asking me if I wanted to make extra income. And I finally said, yes, I do. And so I jumped in with her, not knowing what I would do, not knowing if this would work or not, not knowing if I was really going to make it. And I just remember for the first 5 months, not seeing the value in what this business could do for me. I didn't believe that I could make an extra $300 for my phone. I didn't believe at first that I could make an extra $500 for my phone. I didn't believe that I could personally make $2,000 for my phone because I put this limited belief on myself constantly that I did not have enough time. So when I started for the first 5 months, that was my whole mindset. I truly believed that I didn't have enough time, and so I didn't. Our thoughts are so important, and the things that we say actually become our reality. The things that we think every single day on repeat become our reality. So in turn, it's more important to really look at the way that you're thinking every single day. Look at some of the things that you're saying to yourself every day, or maybe even look at the things that you're saying to your upline, or look at the things that you said to your upline before you jumped in. And those are your limited beliefs. I don't have enough time. I have kids, so I can't. These are all common things that we all say, okay? And what's really crazy is that the things that we are allowing ourselves to be held back by, someone else is actually taking and winning with it. And so I think it's really important to understand that when it comes down to it, if you want a fighting team and you want a team that shows up and you want people who show up and you want different things to happen in your business, you have to look at the way that you talk about your business. You have to look at the way that you think about your business every day. What are some of the thoughts that are going through your head? Maybe write those thoughts down. And then you'll start realizing what you're really saying to yourself and what you're really believing about yourself. So for the first 5 months of my business, I did absolutely nothing. And it was because of the things that I was telling myself every single day. When I started switching that around, and instead of saying, I don't have enough time, so I can't do this, I started saying it out loud. And I actually watched this video. It's called The Secret. It's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it before, you've got to go watch it. It talks all about the power of your thoughts and the power of what you say. And when I watched this, I started realizing that, oh my gosh, I'm doing it to myself. And that's when I started switching everything around. And I started saying, instead of saying, I don't have enough time for this, so I can't do this, I started saying, I don't have enough time, so I need to do this, because there's no other way that I'm ever going to get the time to do anything for myself if I don't do this, right? So I started having to find ways in my day to prioritize this business. I'm going to be straightforward and to the point and blunt with you guys. And I love to be honest, because how are you supposed to learn if I'm not honest, right? And so when it comes down to it, there were some days where I had to wake up early because there was no other option for me. I was working a first and a third shift, and some days I would only get 2 hours of sleep and I had to get up and get it done. And the only way I was going to ever be able to come home full time so I could sleep a full 8 hours was if I got up and got it done right now. So I had to give up the stuff that I wanted right then and there so that I could have those things again and again and again and again later on down the road. But if I didn't give those things up back then, I would still be stuck in that rut of only sleeping 2 hours a night and struggling with my mental health, struggling with my sleep patterns, struggling with just being stressed and angry. My body would be, 70 pounds heavier than it is right now. And it was all thanks to, watching that video, really switching my mindset and starting to think differently. So a lot of the reason why someone would not show up is because of their mindset and what's actually holding them back, and these limited beliefs that we tell ourselves. And it might not be time for you. It might be fear of failure for you. Oh my gosh, what if I show up and I work my butt off and then all of a sudden it doesn't work for me, right? That fear of failure, that fear of looking stupid, right? That fear of feeling like you're not smart enough to do this. So you don't want to put yourself out there and mess up, right? That fear of taking so much time and putting it into it just for it not to work. But here's the thing. You will never know if it's going to work for you if you don't give it your all. You will never know if it's going to work for you if you don't give it your all. If you don't get rid of these limited beliefs and you don't start growing your mindset in the opposite direction and start telling yourself that you can instead of you can't, and start identifying what those limited beliefs are so that you can squash them, you will never know what's on the other side. Because what you're doing is you're keeping yourself in your comfort zone. And I don't want that for you. I want to teach you how to get out of that, to get out of your head, get into the game, learn how to push yourself, learn how to get outside of that comfort zone. Anytime that you tell yourself, I can't because of, catch yourself, immediately flip it around and say, no, I can. No, I can. Right. And instead of saying something like, I can't because I'm afraid of what people think of me, start saying, I need to because I'm afraid of what people think of me. And I'm never going to get over that fear if I don't. Right. If you say that and you say it out loud, you're going to squash those fears. So I want to give you some tips, okay? Because I know that this is a struggle for a lot of people when they first get started, and especially what I'm seeing on our team. And I want to help and give you guys some tools on how to show up every single day. And what it looked like for me to literally get up and work this business and start actually changing my life. And the only way you're going to do it is if you follow these instructions and you actually pull through. You start watching what you say to yourself every day. And then all of these 6 tips that I'm going to give you guys. I'm going to take a drink of water first. Okay. So tip number 1, and you guys can write these down. I would highly recommend it because you never know, at some point you might be teaching someone else this, but not only that, you might need to re-pull this back out at some point. You might get into a slump at some point in your life and in your business. You might hit diamond and then go into this big slump that you're like, I just don't know how to manage my time, right? You might have a season shift and all of a sudden you don't know how you're supposed to work your business during this season. Okay, we all have it. Every 6 months something happens. We all have to make that shift. Okay, I'm right in a shift right now, so I totally understand. But I'm doing all 6 of these things. That's how I'm getting out of it. I'm kicking myself in the butt and I'm telling myself, no, Chelsea, you do have time. You can do this. You are capable of this. And if you don't do it, you will never see what's on the other side of that. You will never get to where you want to be if you don't push through it. Okay, so I'm doing it. So number 1, you must know your why. And it must be connected to your feelings. I can't say this enough, guys. When I first started this business, for the first 5 months, 1, I didn't see the value in it. 2, I was beating myself up every single day. And 3, I didn't know what the heck I wanted. I really didn't. I came into this business because my truck was falling apart. I was putting new things into it all the time. I initially got started so I could buy a new vehicle because that's what the girl that got me started promised me that I would be able to do. Okay. So she put that vision in my head, but I didn't realize that there were things that were more important than buying a new truck. And so the truck was like the least of my worries. And I didn't realize that. But then when I got started, a few months in, and Matt looked at me and told me that he didn't want to be together anymore. And we started struggling really, really, really bad. Oh man, Mama's on a call, baby. He's trying to barge in. Hold on 1 second, guys, okay? I need to holler to Matt really quick. Okay, so Bo just barged in and he's like, Mama? Okay, so anyways, so I didn't know my why at first. And what I had to do was I had to get crystal clear on my why. Okay, so I got this little book. I got a little book, and this is a different book from what I had. Okay, I got this little book and I started writing down every single goal that I had. I started writing down all of my desires, all of the things that I truly wanted in my life. Those are the things that I started writing down in a book. Okay. And it was just random thoughts. Like there was sometimes, I would drive past something and I would see something in a storefront and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I would love to have that. Right. And then it would trickle into multiple other thoughts. Another thing is like Matt and I like to go fishing all the time. Right. So like, for example, one of the biggest things that I wanted was kayaks. I knew I wanted kayaks because I wanted to be able to go out of the water and not just fish offshore. I was tired of fishing offshore. And the only time that we could ever go out on boats or kayaks or whatever is if we went to camp with his family or whatever. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to go out with just me and him and have that time with us, right? So I wrote that down, my addition on my house, okay? And these are all things that have come true, okay? I'm going to share this with you guys. I wrote my addition on my house down, okay? I wrote down exactly what I wanted the rooms to look like. I wrote down what color I wanted, the whole thing. I wanted what I wanted. I wanted high ceilings. I wanted a step down living room. I want gray floors. I want, you know, in Bailey's room, I said, I want gray floors in her room. I want a swing in her room. I even went as far as asking her what she wanted her room to look like. With Bo, I knew I wanted it like a brown mocha color, just like this behind me. I knew that I wanted him to have grayish floors and 2 windows and stuff like that. Okay. Same with, you know, paying my bills on time. Anytime that I would think about paying my bills or whatever, I would write down how many bills I had. I just did this literally the other day, like yesterday. I wrote down every single bill that I have, and I wrote on it how much I needed in order to pay every single one of those bills this next month, right? And because I did that, I put that visualization in my head that I'm going to make that happen. And the more you repeat that again and again and again and again, you get this vision. And then at that point, you get excited about that vision. You get on top of that vision. You start feeling some type of way about that vision. It starts connecting into your emotions. If you're not emotionally connected to your why and you're not feeling like on the verge of tears when you think about it, you need to think deeper. You need to reassess the reason why you're pushing forward, because otherwise what's going to happen is you're going to stay stuck exactly where you are because you're not being driven and you're not being pulled to your why from what you're writing down or what you've got. Okay. I also have a dream board that I've literally been adding to for years and years and just crossing things off as I go. I work on it all the time. Another great thing that you could do, if you want to save up for a trip or if you want to pay off all of your debt, get yourself a little box. Okay. I have this little box and I have all of these envelopes in it. You see some money in there too, but I have all these envelopes in it. Okay. These envelopes hold the key to certain things that I want in my life that I know I'm not going to be able to get until I fill these envelopes. Okay. I've got an amount on them. One of them is for our trip to Florida that's coming up soon. And I know that I need to be able to make that happen. So I've got that little box. I've got envelopes. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I need to do in order to make it happen. And then I'm writing it down every single day. I'm talking about it every single day. I'm talking about it with everybody. I'm getting loud about it. I am putting it on my Facebook. I'm putting it on my Instagram. I'm putting it on my stories. I'm putting it on my TikToks. I'm talking with my spouse about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about all of these things. And so I think it's really, really important to know exactly why you are here. And if it does not give you that either, you know, that so excited you could cry feeling, or that feeling of something that you're running away from, something that you're pushing, you know, when I first started, it's crazy because now I go for things that I want. Back then, I went for things that I needed. And it was a lot of, I was running away from living broke, living poor, living every single day worried about money. Okay. So back then, a lot of my goals were focused on actually paying my bills on time, or it was focused on, you know, actually making sure that my mortgage was good and making sure we didn't lose our house. Those were things that pulled from my gut, that there was the one option for me to make that happen. And that was me working this business. There was no plan B. Okay. And that's the most important thing, is when you're choosing your reason why you're doing it, you have to have no plan B. The plan B is what holds you back from getting to that next level. So for example, if you know you want to be able to pay your light bill, but there's another income coming into the house that can pay for that light bill, chances of you making that happen with this business are not going to happen, because they're already going to be paid with that secondary income. So whatever your why is, it has to be something that is out of your reach, even with the other incomes that you have coming into your house, even with anything that you're doing on the side, or any amount of money that could be given to you, right? It has to be something that's out of your way, that you have to go out of the way, and there is no other option but to work this business to make it happen. Okay, so number one, know your why. It must be connected to your feelings, and it must not have a plan B. No matter what, there's no way you can make it happen with what you're doing right now. Okay, number two, you've got to write your goals down. Just like I said, you have to make sure that you write them down in a book. You got to have them on sticky notes around your house. You have to get a dream board written up. We're going to do dream boards at the beginning of the year. I'm so excited. I love doing dream boards every year. We're going to do just tons of stuff, but why wait until then? Why not get a jump start now, so that when we do the dream boards, you can just add things to it, and just add more and more and more and more, and pack that on. And then you can start getting excited about what it's going to look like to change your entire life. You can get that vision and you can start hustling for it. Okay. So write it down. Another thing is write down your daily task list. Okay. I can't tell you how many people I talk to every single day that come to me and say, Chelsea, nothing's happening. I don't know why nothing's happening. I don't know why I'm not signing loyal customers. I don't know why I'm not signing distributors. And I'm thinking to myself, girlfriend, you're not tracking it. You are not tracking anything you're doing. So how are you supposed to get to that next level if you're not writing down your tasks that you're doing every day? And if you're not writing down how many loyal customer messages you're sending out, how many distributor messages you're sending out? I can't tell you how many times I hear it throughout the day saying, I don't know why nothing's working for me. It's not that nothing's working, it's that you're not tracking it. And chances are you're not doing as much as you think that you're doing. And I had that great reality check at the beginning of this business that literally threw me for a loop. I had a friend of mine who said the same thing to me. And she said, you need to start tracking how many loyal customer messages you send, how many potential distributors you send, how many host to post messages you send. And you need to start tracking how many ads you put out there, like how many times you add people on Facebook and how many follow-up messages you send. And then go back every single day and look at how many you're sending. And that right there will tell you exactly why it's not working for you, because there's so much inconsistency there. One day you're sending 50 messages for each category I just shared with you guys. The next day you're doing 5. The next day you're doing 50. The next day you're doing absolutely nothing. The next day you're doing 1 or 2. The next day you're not even sending a host to post message. Here's why the inconsistency is there. Okay, like that's how you're going to track your inconsistency, is writing it down. If you want a surefire way to launch your business and get hustling through the winter into the new year, you've got to start tracking what you're doing every single day. You have to get serious about your business. You have to throw out your inconsistency. You have to start treating this business like an actual business and not like a hobby. If it was a hobby, you wouldn't track anything, right? If it's a business, you're going to track everything. Okay. And I know it's scary sometimes, because it was scary for me when I first started, and it's still scary for me sometimes, but the more that you do it and the more you take massive action every day, the easier and easier it's going to get, and the stronger you're going to get to be able to fight against it. So number 2, write it down, your daily goals, your weekly goals, and then what are you doing every single day? Start tracking it. I guarantee you, if we tracked it in our group chat right now, it'd be pretty sad. I would put money on it. Okay. And it's because, when it comes down to it, we're all looking for someone to give us those tasks every single day, and someone to push us along. We all come from that employee background. And so we have to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone to actually get out there and get those tasks written down ourselves. And we are all capable of it 100%. So that's something that we should definitely work towards as a team, to make sure that we're tracking it and make sure that we're showing up every single day, because that's what's going to change our entire life. Okay. Number 3, proximity is power. Okay. How many of you guys have ever heard this before? Just raise your hand or put a raised hand in the chat. Okay. Proximity is power. What I mean by that is The people that you surround yourself with, or the people that you talk to every single day, matters. If you are talking to someone with a small mindset every single day, all day long, someone who is not reaching for big goals in their life, someone who is not pushing for something bigger than what they've ever done before, chances of you actually pushing for something that's bigger than something that you've ever done before is slim to none. If you're talking to people with small mindsets all day long and you're allowing them to take up your time and space in your life, chances are you're going to be small-minded as well, because we become the people that we are surrounding ourselves with. We are the sum of the people that we surround ourselves with. And this is why it's so important to do personal development every day. This is why it's so important to wean out the small-minded conversations. Okay. I think it was John Maxwell. He has a book out there. I'm going to have to look it up and put it in the chat for you guys, but he was talking about what it looked like to have a fixed mindset conversation versus a growth mindset conversation, or a small-minded conversation versus a good mindset conversation. Okay. And that's one of the things that he said was proximity was power, and the people you surround yourself with matters. People that you talk to every single day matters. People that you give your time to every single day matters. Okay. So look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Would you trade places with them? If you can't answer that with a yes, then they're probably not your greatest people to surround yourself with, because you're going to end up swapping with them. Okay. So make sure that you just pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with. Get plugged in. Find a consistency partner. We have such a great team, and our team works together so much, not only in Team Diamond Hustler, but also in the commitment chat for October. And the one for November is going to be the same thing. We all work so well together. So start shouting out what you're doing every single day. Start plugging those things in. I'm telling you, it's going to change everything for you. The more you plug in, the more you reach out to people who are inspiring you, not people who are taking your time away every single day and wasting it, but plug into those people that give you good vibes, and that they're going to kick you into shape and say, hey, listen, I'm going to be real with you, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to tell you how it is, and I'm going to help you grow through this because I want this for you. So plug into those people, and those people that know that you're going to make it happen, and or that you can make it happen, not the people who are holding you back every single day. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4, one of the biggest tips, I had a friend at one point that worked this business with me that set timers on her phone. And every single time, she had a little bit of a blue personality, which means that she's here, there, and everywhere, and she gets easily distracted. Okay. That's a lot of us on this team. And so if you know that you have to get on a Zoom call, if you know that you have to get a certain thing done, like follow-ups done, if you know that you need to place orders at a certain time, if you know that you need to send messages, okay, set timers on your phone. We always have our phone with us anyways, right? And those who don't have a phone have that little fancy Apple Watch, okay? Set a timer to make that thing go off, okay? And when you do, get on and do the things that you got to do. Have it write a little message for you so you can remember to make it happen. Tell other people, and this actually leads me to number 5. Okay. Get loud about your goals and your dreams. It does you no good to sit back and let everything happen and not say anything about your goals and your dreams. And when you're saying it, make sure you're saying it to the right people. So maybe putting it out there on Facebook saying, I'm going for this month, and I'm making this happen, and enough's enough, and enough to my BS, and enough to my excuses. I'm going to show up and I'm going to make it happen. The best people that are going to hold you accountable are going to be people on Facebook, your team, your upline, your sideline. The people who support you the most are the people that you want to go to. Those people who not hold you back support you, meaning don't cater to your feelings, but they want to see you move up in your life. Go tell those people, and tell them every single day, again and again, Get in the habit of saying that, because it's going to hold you accountable. It's going to make you show up. It's going to make you feel like you need to show up, because at the end of the day, we don't want to end up, saying that we're going to do something and then not actually doing it and then looking some type of way, right? So, so get loud about it. Talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more you put it out there, the more excited you'll be. Just like I told you guys, when I was writing down my goals, I would go to my child and I would say, hey, what do you want your room to look like? I would tell Bailey every single day that I was building her a room. Okay. For a long time, she did not believe it. We would talk about it, but she didn't believe that she was actually getting a room. She thought that it was just something that I was saying and I wasn't actually going to follow through, until the day that I actually followed through, because I had been working behind the scenes so hard for so long to build the addition on our house. And she had no idea that it was actually going to come together until I got all of the sheetrock delivered to our house, and her bedroom got boxed in, closed up, mudded, taped, and painted literally with that week. So when it comes down to it, a lot of people, they won't understand it, and some people won't even believe it. But the louder that you get, the more it's going to make you want to keep going and want to keep pushing. So number 5, get loud about it. Number 6, when in doubt, be a shadow to someone else. Follow someone else who has already created those good habits. Okay. They are your new consistency buddy. When it comes down to it, if someone's doing something every single day, day in and day out, and you see them gaining in success, and you see them making it happen for them and their family, and they are living the life that you're wanting to live, right? You have to follow in someone's footsteps that's going to push you outside of your comfort zone. That maybe when you look at their tasks that they're doing every single day, and they're saying they're sending 50 messages for potential distributors every day, and you're only sending 10, and they're successful and they're kicking butt and taking names and they're enrolling like crazy, and you're not enrolling anybody, what do you think that you should do? You should shadow them. You should follow exactly what they're doing. This is how I started my entire business. I didn't have a leader that showed me things. I didn't have a leader that got on Zoom calls like this with us. I didn't have anybody that would just shoot it to me straight and tell me what the deal is, right? So I had to go and find leaders, and I had to go and literally stalk the crap out of them and figure out exactly what they were doing to a T. When they posted, I posted. When they updated their story, I updated my story. When they sent out messages and put it in the chats or whatever that they were sending messages, I was sending messages too. When they got on a Zoom call, I got on that same Zoom call. When they showed up and they were kicking butt, I was doing the same exact thing. I followed exactly what those people did that were in that spot that I wanted to be in. And that was how I got to this level, was because I shadowed someone. And I did all of these 6 things that I'm sharing with you guys. So at the end of the day, I might have started my business 5 months in doing absolutely nothing, but by month 7, I was working this business like an actual business. So month 1 through 5, worked it like a hobby, barely showed up. Inconsistent. It was like 10 messages this day, 50 messages this day, 0 messages this day, 20 messages this day. Okay. But when I actually realized that if I just showed up and I tracked it and I just knew what I truly wanted, and I started telling myself that I could get it, and I started writing it down on a piece of paper, I started setting timers for these Zoom calls. I started finally getting loud about what I needed and what I wanted and what I was going for. And I started following what everybody else was doing that was successful. Then and only then did I actually make moves in my business. And I started working this business like an actual business and taking it seriously so that other people could take me seriously. Because at the end of the day, no one will until you do. Okay. So treat it like a hobby or treat it like a business, but the call is yours. So it's your time to draw that line in the sand. And maybe you've done this a few times and it's okay. I did too. It's your time to draw the line in the sand and say, do I want my life to stay exactly where it is right now? Or do I want to finally show up for my future and what I truly want and what I truly need in my life? And am I willing to show up for it every single day? Am I willing to do these 6 things in order to make that happen for myself? So I appreciate you guys getting on so much. I am going to take a quick picture on here really, really quick. That way I can put it on my story. Thank you. I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. I love you guys so much and I hope you have a great night.